one desire, the only purpose of my life. It is for you, 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 it is for you.
Hello. Ooh. That's good. Okay. Good, good. Om. And namaste. Welcome everyone today to this Satsang here in Varanasi. I'm very happy to have this opportunity before leaving to meet and to many people I'll probably not be seeing for a while after today. So it's also a chance to see you, but of course, most importantly, is to take the opportunity to again explore into this subject of self-awareness. And here it is explored in such a way that we are not merely content with a mental understanding or intellectual conviction, because all this will mean very little if it is not confirmed through direct experience that takes place inside your heart. So that has been the premise on which satsangs have been offered, and many people have come to some varying degrees of insight, which has impacted on their lives in very profound ways. And as always, when we come like this, that is the opportunity that is most alive. That we're not merely attending a lecture, but more an exploration, which I feel, in fact, in itself is not difficult. It is not difficult. Why? Because the truth, what I mean by truth, is what is our true nature. And true nature means something that you do not create that. It is already so and already here. Only it needs to be recognized. But there are some other things that come up in this journey for self-discovery. Many people, perhaps most people, if asked, what is your deepest wish? And I'll limit it to people who are to a certain extent aware of a spiritual reality, that most of those people would say that they would like to be awake to their natural state. But when it comes to looking more deeply into this, exploring into it, we find that often we are protecting certain ideas, certain concepts, certain beliefs, certain habits, which may feel we are not ready to give them up also. But even with this, it need not be the reason for not waking up, because rather than emphasize that you should give up your habits, I would encourage people more to come more deeply in, because there's always space within, unexplored, and to come to observe from the deepest space within themselves, whereby as soon as you are somehow clear, not just as thought, but as feeling also, that you're in a true place, the previous positions of doubts and uncertainties, attachments and so on, they are much easier for them to fall away by themselves. So, yeah. Okay, well, okay. You want to say something? You can come.
I have been hiding.
You've been hiding.
The whole Rishika season.
Why are you hiding?
I believe I have too much time, and
many people here are not aware that we are just at the end of quite a long season of satsangs that started in Rishikesh. For 5 weeks we were there, and after this 5 weeks we went to Lucknow, the place of my masters, and we spent another few days there at satsangs, also in Lucknow, and then decided to come to Varanasi and to spend a few days here before going to Delhi. So this is not something so new for many people who have also come along with my trips after Rishikesh. You are one of them. And what he's saying is he has been through this whole season of Rishikesh, which is 5 weeks of intense satsangs, and he's now admitting, I have been hiding the whole season. This is not an unusual thing to hear, in fact. And I am to a certain extent pleased that even at this time you are willing to come forward and to admit, like, I've been hiding. And why are you hiding? Just to take a look, why would you be hiding?
I don't know. I was just encouraged to come forward, and
Yes.
I don't want to hide anymore.
Perhaps I can help a little bit, because in any sincere approach for the truth, you will find that there are forces working within ourselves that tend to work to keep your mind on very much earthly things, to pursue what is transient by nature, which seems to be afraid to go forward into the fullness of yourself. Some forces seem to work like that, to sabotage any opportunity to come home to freedom. Now, it may sound surprising for some people, but why should it be like that? In fact, it seems the whole world is held in the grip of some kind of delusion as to our true nature. In the beginning, we have been that perfect state. But when it seemed to manifest as a person, when that consciousness chose to paint a portrait of itself as a person and then come to live in this mode of personhood, it seemed to have forgotten its pure, essential origin and begin to identify with the body as what it is, and then also the conditionings, programming that arise for many people. It embraces that there are facts about itself and never once thinking that it's the fiction of self. It's embracing the body, which is the time aspect of what we are, and then feeling that and seeing that the body is prone to injury and disease and death. The consciousness somehow come in a state of delusion, feeling that it will also end with the end of the body and so on. So a subtle kind of fear enters into that state. We identify with the vulnerable state of personhood, which is a huge distortion on the original consciousness. But because the person is also consciousness, something feels okay to be in this role of a person. But the person is that mode of consciousness that experiences tremendous instability. It's a very fickle state. We like to feel that we say things and they're profound and they're constant, but in our actions we are not able to sustain that. The state of personhood, I say that all the beings are suffering from person poison, because it is not our original state. But for a while, something enjoys the sense of autonomy and privacy, and this feeling that I can manifest what I project, I can do what I want, and so on. And all beings were compelled to experience and to enter this state of personhood for a while, and that the consciousness would grow through this media of personhood, learn many things in that state, but eventually come back to its original purity. But that can take quite some time. How much time, it's hard to say. But it is felt that it's more than one human lifetime, that we've been on the road. Life and death is nothing new for us. It's just each episode, each chapter of a life feels so complete. But you say that something is hiding. In everyone, something is hiding. There's even either we don't know the full extent of the magnificence of consciousness and have so much doubt about our true nature, so much fear about future, and all of this based upon that limited identity that I am the body and I am my conditioning. None of these are stable in themselves. They are constantly changing. So when you come to satsang, which it must be your higher wish to be in satsang, and yet in this type of environment it's very difficult to not see, to not be stirred up, to not see what you are suppressing or hiding. It begins to come up. And then the option is to either to avoid or to hide, as you have been doing, or to come forward and say, I really feel like I really need help here because something just wants to run away. That's an old reflex for many beings. As soon as it comes that they are about to awaken to a deeper understanding of their true nature, something wants to run away like that. And you have said the whole season you've been there. And now only you're saying, I have been running. Perhaps the last chance you have to sit in satsang, the day you admit, yes, I have been hiding. And it's not too late. Do we have something to cover this microphone? Because it's like a microphone. No.
Jeep. Something very comfortable in having time, and it's also something that would be totally fine just living as a person, and that's actually why I have to expose it. Because right now I cannot. The whole season I have been thinking I want to give you space, and because the urge is not, I'm not ready yet, and I don't want to waste your time, and now
it's in a sense like saying, I'm not ready to be what I am. It is a saying, I'm not ready to be who I am. I'll continue being who I'm not. This is what it's saying. I'm not ready. I need more time. I need more time to be deluded. I need more time to keep on fantasizing about life. I'm not yet ready to be who I am. This is what. And you say, oh yes, because I have time. Who told you you have time? At present, time has you. Because you don't have any guarantee about how much time you have. From the place of the absolute consciousness, whether you spend another 50 lifetimes at this, it doesn't matter to it actually. Because truth is not bound by time in that way. But you, who have a life that is very much about time, you would not find it appealing to say, it may take me another 5 lifetimes to come to this truth. You indulge with that thought now because you have decorated it to suit your own projections, but it is not the way it is. And the truth is, in fact, most people, they don't want. Thank you. Yes. Most people, they don't want it. Once we have taken the drug of personhood, it is very difficult to have a true aspiration for freedom, because the personhood is a kind of a drug for the beingness, the sense of autonomy and doing what I want and fantasizing my future and all of this. It is very, very much appealing to the ego identity. So of course you can drift on, you can spend a very long time doing that.
And if it's not going to be now, I don't know when. I have one foot in the door, like you say. Like it's like I'm holding back now.
Actually, the thing that's holding back is not really you. It's just your bad habit. It's just your tendencies. But you have treated them so intimately that you identify them as yourself. It is not really you. I mean, your true self cannot be resisting itself. We are very much living in a false idea of who we are. The idea you have of who you are is suffering from its own projections about itself. You're thinking it is you, and nobody questions it because we are all universally accepting this standpoint of personhood as our factual self rather than the fictional self. So it's very easy to say, yeah, I'm a bit afraid, I'm holding back and so on. And we all understand this language. But as you go more deeply into the truth of your own self, this way of looking becomes very distant and remote for you. Nobody else cares about how much time it takes you to wake up. No one in this world cares. Not your parents, not your friends, your wife, your friend, your husband. Nobody cares how much time it takes you to wake up. Even if you never wake up. They don't even have the concept of waking up. So if you yourself don't mind, I don't see any trouble. The world will not grieve for you. Oh, he's going to stay asleep in ignorance of his true nature. Oh, poor chap. No, they're not going to. No one in this world cares if you wake up or not. Evidently, even you yourself don't care. Why should I care even? I'm only here in some way to facilitate when there's that urge arising in a human being, which is also natural, who is searching for a deeper sense, often because they are compelled to, because they experience so much suffering due to egoic projections and misconceptions, that they are driven to search for something more stable, because everything in the realm of personhood is so fickle and unstable. We like to say things that sound majestic and certain, but we cannot fulfill them in our actions. The only way you can do is to return to your true nature. But it seems the drug is so deep set inside our being that we have a lot of excuses as to why we will postpone. The truth is simple, but the seeker of truth is complex. It's not truth is difficult. It's not difficult, it's not even easy. It just is. You have to find something about yourself that just is. It's not the product of any effort or any philosophy. It is the most natural. And yet it's the last thing you will recognize. Because the mind will keep on producing more and more opportunities to invest your energy in just temporality, in momentariness. And so your aspiration will only be for what I call the earth mind, the earth person, which meaning that all that we're working for is what is impermanent by nature, including the one who is working for it also is impermanent also. So I would say, relax and enjoy your projections. Don't come and pose at being sincere about truth. It's a waste of time. Go and wallow in your projections. Why would you want to come and, oh, I've been escaping, I've been hiding, and because I feel I have time, and I want to give you space. Why you want to give me space? I am space. But I'm not spaced out. Because you need space. Because perhaps the modern sickness is a lack of inner space. The mind is so full of impressions and things to do, and it is It's overload. Who is living in peace and joy and genuine happiness? Who is living in peace? You have to go to the cemetery to see rest in peace. Nobody's resting in peace.
Kamayani, she told me as well. That maybe I should just go and...
Say what?
Kamayani, I had satsang with Kamayani and it's very, very powerful. But if I should just go and enjoy my projections and...
Well, not only enjoy, suffer them also.
That's it. Yeah. It's just like I by grace, just saw enough of times that the person is not working really, but maybe not enough.
Yes.
It's true. I enjoy enough. Enjoy too much, and
Actually, nobody in this life enjoys even this life as much as a sage. Even
that's what
they are not attached to anything. They're not wanting something. They're not trying to build a self-image around the things of this world. They don't curse anything at all. They have no fantasy about life. You say you enjoy, but you enjoy and suffer miserably, actually. And the greatest part of the misery is you continue to be foolish about it.
I just said this morning, it has to be today, even though I don't feel it. I don't have the urge in my heart, but it just it has to be today. But
sometimes the amount of time you spend on really transient and what I'd call mediocre thinking creates a field of inertia in you. It makes the mind very flat and dull. So when you speak, you have no power even. You maybe try and speak and talk to people, but they're not interested. You'll catch only the attention of foolish people. When a human being speaks, it should mean something. It should come from your heart. It should come out of your life force also, because you've been alive for long enough to learn so much from life and from not just the outer, but the inner man has to grow. What can you share from yourself? If it's the very thing you're turning away from. And then you say, I only want to, yes, it has to be today, but I don't really feel it. It is just like people who come and say, oh, my friend has been coming here and she seems to be happy, and can I have some of that, please? It's not in your heart what to do. It's not to blame, but what to do. I cannot say it is not in your heart. The truth and your heart are synonymous. They are one. The heart that you're speaking like it's not in your heart is more the heart that you're referring to as your emotional center or something, but not your true place. You are the self. The one who is saying, I want to get to the self, this one is not actually true. But nobody suspects that this one is not true. Because this one has a name, he has a photograph on a passport, he has an address. The things that human beings need to have a sense of credibility. We think it's enough proof that I am this, but it is not your ultimate state. I don't know how many human beings there are who are really driven to discover their ultimate state, the ultimate truth. I don't know this. In gatherings like this, I'm really hoping to meet you to see if you really have it. Meaning what? That you are the self, but is it being hidden, your light, by a fascination you have for your projections? And whether that can be undressed, that you can come back to the nakedness of the truth you are. I have no doubt you are truth. But there may be doubt as to whether, you are sufficiently awake to the importance of finding and being who you are. Because maybe you are not that. And if you're not, then it's a lot of work to try and force it and to try and to stir you up. No, I don't have the energy to do that. You have to come and you have to say, please, I have to find this. And it must be genuine. It cannot just come out of a magazine mind. It has to come because something inside feels, yes, I don't want to continue in this very limited way of expression. My mind it has become a kind of torture for me. There's no truth there. Please help me to. Then I say, oh, you look like someone we can talk to. But you have to give something of yourself. You can't come here and expect me to talk, just talk. And you have to come like you, if you're hungry. If you're really hungry, you will not be interested in menus. You want to go to the kitchen, you want to go inside, you want to get something. You won't even want a knife and fork, maybe not even a table. You'll eat out of your hand if you're really hungry.
Dear Guruji.
When you come like this, it cannot just be in a moment of, yes, I have to do this. And then also that slips away, that subsides, and next moment I see you down the road sort of like jingling about, and the next moment you're something else. That's the fickleness of mind that I'm speaking about. Maybe just out of an emotional state, an emotional moment, you say, yes, I'm here for this, help me. And then it just gets deflated. And I said, okay, come, you want to talk with me? I said, oh yes, I'm sorry, I'm late for lunch, can I talk to you later? This will not do. I am not saying to anybody, you should want this even. There must be something, some force of nature is working inside you to permit you to come to a place even like this. But how far it will go, this we don't know. All I can tell you is that your search for truth will be your highest attainment in the human kingdom. To be who you are, once you begin to settle into that new discovery, you will hate being what you're not. This I can tell you. If you've been used to living in a certain way, and yes, you're living in that way, and you don't know any difference. But as soon as you begin to discover that there are dimensions within yourself which are totally, profoundly beautiful and full of joy, unfading joy also, because there's no story in the joy, that your mind is light and clear, that your heart is full of peace. As soon as you begin to discover this, yes, sometimes mind will come back fiercely to try and sabotage and to create negative interpretations around this. Everybody knows this. But some will persist, and you will go through, and you will transcend the negative and psychological influence of the mind. You can do it. You have the advantage because you are already the self. Just a self in a temporary state of hypnosis, whereby it is believing that it is merely a person functioning in this limited mode. So when I hear the people say, yeah, but I have things to do and I want to do this more and so on, I call that sleep. But I don't judge it and say, oh, they're asleep. Oh, but it is sleep. If you're willing to move in a life where you're still not sure about your true nature, if you don't know who you are, how reliable can the things you think you know be if yourself you don't know? And this self-knowledge is not something like, it's not a duality like, I know myself. It is one thing. This knowing and being are one. The greatest thing in this world is hidden inside you. We don't know it. Nothing of this world can compare with a heart that is awakened to the truth. I'm not talking religion. I'm not talking about some private mythology or philosophy. I'm talking about the pure spirit of being. In this world, it's like being in some playground that is very appealing to the senses and the mind for a time. But you have to not merely grow old, but grow up, meaning to use your time to discover the timeless. While your body is warm, use it to find what is imperishable in you. Otherwise, what is your life actually? I'll give you an example. Yesterday, about this time, you were somewhere, I can't say where, you would have been somewhere, talking with beings and doing something, and the life would feel as tangible as it does this moment. Your senses will be as open as they are this moment. Your attention as alert as it is this moment. And yet, yesterday is gone. And there's nothing you can do about it. You cannot turn and put your hand into a portion of yesterday and produce a sample from yesterday. It is gone. Memory gives us a little sense that you can hold on to yesterday's and time. But even that is an interpretation. It's gone. And this moment also will pass. And every moment that you have tasted consciously or unconsciously passes. Then what is your life? Your life is right in that place where everything else is noticed to be passing, but there is something that is not passing. If it wasn't for that, your life will be worth nothing at all. It is only because of the stillness within yourself, whereby you can look at the movement that arises and appears and disappears. But it's in your stillness that your power is. Because the things of the mind, of time and change, everything is like a cloud passing in the infinite sky of being. There's a treasure within you. Actually, I don't even want to call it a treasure, because a treasure must be for someone. But this treasure is you. And this treasure is not a possession. It doesn't belong to you. You are it. The only thing that really matters is that something has to change over. A switch in understanding and perspective must happen. And then it will take some time for your mind to stabilize and to burp out all the latent impressions and dormant tendencies that have a tendency to hold the beingness hostage. But once you have crossed over into the land of being cured, it is easy to evacuate those other energies. It will take time, but you would have crossed over from death to life. Life is not to be merely biologically alive. Life is to be alive as pure spirit and truth. When life becomes more spontaneous, intuitive, open, fearless, wise, all this, we are this, but still it needs to be somehow recognized and loved also. Okay. I just want to say also, there are people who were told that we are broadcasting just audio, but it seems that we are broadcasting also on video also, on internet. So you can also go and those listening in, you may try watching on the internet, not just listening on audio. Okay, someone here, please come in.
Guruji, I'm following your teaching 5 years, and about 3 years I'm participating in Seva, and I have such opportunity and such a privilege to be in your present, in your physical present.
Yes.
And during this time, I'm with you and with Sangha. I feel such a change in my life, in me. I have this experience of myself, but something happening, and I want to share it in front of you and put it in front of you. And
can we turn this down a little bit for me?
all of my Sangha. I know how to be fully inside in my heart with you, how to follow, like in emptiness, following you, feeling you. I have this experience being with you, but this time I feel it's really, I can see it. When I'm close to you, something starts happening in my mind, but it's also in my, even the body. It's very visible. I could not, even my eyes could not see you. I could not feel you somehow. I could not move with you in one flow. I feel so much that something is like want to stay between you and me.
Yes.
And I love you so much.
I want to say something like that, because what you are speaking about, I want to speak to you now. I don't want to speak to you as though you are, some distant. I want to speak to you in the most close way. the powers of this world is not naturally supporting your awakening. I have to tell you that. This is why for the huge, the vast amount of mankind is held in this realm of delusion that makes us feel comfortable that you're in your life and you're doing your thing and you're doing this and you're projecting about your future and so on. But it is all sleep. Sleep means to be unaware of your true nature, which is perfect and beautiful and whole and timeless, eternal, limitless, joyful. But we have forgotten that. Even worse than forgot, we have no idea that such a thing exists for us, because our idea of ourselves is so small. We expect so little, but we think we're expecting a lot. And as soon as you begin to make some inner discovery of your true nature, you start to realize how much of a mafia your mind is. Of course, when you have no desire for these things, you just move along, There's nothing it seems you're free, do what you want. As soon as you begin to awaken to the truth, you find forces are coming to sabotage, to block your path, to create negative interpretations about the little space you're creating, to tell you you're not ready, you're not good enough, you're unworthy, or sometimes you're far too good. Whatever way works, to create some distortions inside your mind. And these impressions are not easy to detect, because they can come dressed in very nice clothes. You see? So only someone who really is yearning. Because many people, once they taste the serpent's voice, they give up. They give up. They say it's too difficult. The mind begins to create a lot of confusion and doubts, and to distract you, to go somewhere else, to knock on other doors, and you will not be left alone until you fall off from your path. It happens to many, hundreds and hundreds. In this path also, I will tell you, because of the directness of it, because I've not told anyone 17 steps to truth or something like that. I'm showing that if the truth is, and it is eternal, it must be here now. Let's look at why it is experienced to be not here now. And so that is direct, that is immediate, that's revolutionary in the way of seeing. Because it is not depending on huge chunks of time and practice and so on. In many practices, you don't get this trouble because the ego is included in the practice. But in this path, the ego is already flushed out and exposed as part of the reason why it is experienced to be so difficult. And so a lot of energies come to distract you. And it will even don't want you to come near to me. Those who are working close to me sometimes come under the hardest fire. You see? There's a saying that if you put a candle in a room, it will light the whole room. But right under the candle there will be some shadow caused by its own body. Often the devotees are living in this shadow. You must break out from this.
And also it was so unexpected for me. I never can imagine really that it's possible that my mind come in front of my Guruji, whom I love so much. And it was, I saw it, oh my God, it's not true, it could not be this, because in my life my mind have eat many people whom I love, or mind can eat a lot of things, but it's not possible to eat you.
Somehow, most definitely I'm the one it wants to eat.
Yes.
It cannot eat me, but it can eat me in you.
That's what it want to do. And when you say very right, because it come in very good dress way. It just say that maybe I good in another role. Maybe I really suddenly start not feeling you. But why is it like this? Because I know that I can feel you. I can be empty.
The reason why these things happen is that as yet you are not sitting in your true place. The mind cannot intimidate the true self. It can only intimidate the idea you have of who you are. The idea you have of who you are is not you. Your self-portrait is not you. Your autobiography is not you. While we have the sense that we are this person and, you're a spiritual person doing your own thing and so on, you're very susceptible and vulnerable to the voice of distortion. It happens like that. Yet many people, many of you have been on the road for some time. You know these attacks that come. You know how easy it is to be diverted. Your interest, sometimes your attention is so fickle and so easily pushed off track. But for some, they've used this to really sort of tighten up and to say, no, I have to defeat this. As soon as you realize that your ego mind is not on your side, not yet. As soon as you begin to taste the deeper being, its vastness, its beauty, its space and peace, as soon as you begin to experience this, a countdown begins for your ego. At a certain point, it will become unbearable for you when you go into an ego state. These are good signs, but in experience-wise, it will produce a lot of nausea, a lot of bad feeling for a while. But these are only the birth pains as you are giving birth to your true nature. You cannot simply come home to yourself and everything is so easy. You have to fight somehow. But this fight does not need to take a whole lifetime. You must for some time hold your ground as the undivided seer in the way that I've pointed you to until you're back into the clear space again. There's a time to fight and a time to be quiet. You cannot always be fighting. Sometimes you have to be deeply still and somehow unassociated with anything. Don't combine yourself with anything that you perceive. When and how, as you follow these pointings, you will intuitively come to know when to apply this thing and when to apply this other thing. It's not something you can learn from a textbook. It only comes through the dynamic consciousness, you see. You come to know it like that. So I feel that you have invested a lot of energy towards your freedom. And my part is to ensure, as much as it is within my power, that you don't fall away from that. Because if you do, it is very difficult to get back on your horse.
That's what I feel, that if I go with my mind, I believe that you will help me. If you will see that I want to not follow these things, if you will see that I'm afraid to come forward between you or even now on a satsang, but I feel that I don't want to protect it. I want just to show, even it will be...
It takes this type of courage. It takes this type of courage. That even though it may not feel comfortable, you still step forward and you put your hands up and say, yes, this is happening for me, please help me to go beyond this. Because you know what is happening, why these things are happening, is because you're onto something. These things are happening because if they had no power, it wouldn't have to turn up the fire. But because you are getting close to new spaces of liberation, then they come to break your path. So don't give up. You come like that. Because there's no reason for you to just fail. You know? And most of it is due to not having a clear understanding of your true nature, but living in a very limited idea of who you are creates all this space for trouble, you see. I just have to tell you that inside the heart of every human being is the Supreme Being. That is the fact of who you are. The rest is momentary. Time says all that you see, all you imagine, all you remember, all you love, all you possess, one day will be gone. Including you, the one who identify as the possessor, that you will also be gone. There is something here that does not belong to time. You must use your life to find that thing. It is not outside. It is very much to do with yourself. There is nothing that a human being can do greater than this. Find out who you are. Even if it leaves you with no money, no friends, find out who you are. Because human beings before you have done it. And thousands of years later, new people are finding the light that they are and also discovering themselves through that light itself. That is the power of your consciousness, you see. 2,000 years ago, one called Jesus the Christ, he discovered his true nature. And 2,000 years later, new Christians are forming who never knew him in his physical form. 2,500 years ago, the Buddha, even today, new Buddhists are arising who followed his teachings, walked in his light, and found the truth of themselves. For 5,000 years in the time of Krishna. Or 60 years in the time of Ramana. Or Papaji, a few years. These beings have come, walked on this planet. A body just like yours, who looked at the same moon and the same sun, who had moments of loneliness, of inspiration, of doubt, of great joy, just like we do. They did not create awakening, they discovered it. You cannot create what is perfect. You can only discover it. And discover it perfectly. So I'm very happy that you come, and you say, yes, even if I have failed miserable, I feel, but this is what has been arising for me, and okay, it's good, don't worry. Because I'll tell you, none of your problems are that serious from the place of truth. One time you look and you laugh at the things that are so big in your imagination. You think, oh my God, I'm going to die. And one day you look and say, so that was just so nonsense. People are killing themselves out of some negative emotion experienced, for 10 minutes or so, and they want to put an end to their life even. As you come more deeply into the discovery of your true nature, you will come to see that the mind is just exaggerating. And you believe it because you are not established in your true place. Where is your true place? You must find. Where is peace until you discover it? Where is love until you find it? Where is it hiding? Where is truth until you discover it. It's all within yourself. Everything is within yourself. But few voices in this world will tell you this. Not because they know it and are hiding it from you, they also don't know it. Such is the powerful grip of the psychological mind. When consciousness plays as a human being, it must come up against all these forces. When it understands itself, it will transcend all of them. There's not one single being here who is not consciousness. Consciousness and yourself are synonymous. This one thing is the same. Very good. It's true.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Lately I've had this very strong burning of coming to you, and something is always stopping. So I really needed to raise my hand for this, for this freedom and truth, because I see there is something that still keeps on coming and saying, I can do better than you.
What do you mean by this?
Like more almost like a identification with a person that is doing everything good and trying to be perfect and
Yes. Let me tell you, and I'll say it, and I've said it many times, I'll say it again. You will not go very far as a person. It is a very heavy state. We have an idea, yes, you're getting better and you're getting further and further. But usually the person's aspirations are for things of this world. What I mean is that of the elemental world. Or you want to be loved, but the love that happens for a person is not necessarily ongoing. It's fraught with ups and downs and lots of projections, and so much is an unstable field. It is not our true place. It is an experience, a phase that we must taste and then transcend this taste. As long as you stay in the mode of a person, it will be, this and that, and yeah, perhaps, and maybe, yes, maybe tomorrow, and I'm getting better, and oh no, I've failed again, and all of this antics. It is not stable. You see, there has to be a transformation from person to presence. Presence is a state of consciousness where you are aware of your life, the world, but you're not so involved passionately, psychologically, emotionally. You see? I give the example that, like for instance, many people here, you're not from here. You may have been traveling away from home, wherever that may be, for maybe 6 months or 3 months or 8 months or whatever. But maybe at some point you will return to your familiar place of living. When you go back there, everything there you know. The roads are the same, the houses are still there, the same neighbors are there, the same cars, the same pets are there. Everything is there like it was in the beginning, before you left. But something is different. There's more detachment inside you. You know all the people, they may come to tell you what the latest news is, who got married, who died, who has got children, and so on. You know all these things, but they're not entering your being so deeply because you've been away from this environment, and so it doesn't penetrate so deeply into your consciousness. You hear, you understand. There's a kind of detachment there. It is a beautiful state, except if you feel, oh, I don't fit in anymore. And then somehow you're trying everything to try and fit in. But if you really see it for what it is, you see that you understand everything, but you're not so involved. Maybe after a little while you become more and more involved, and everything becomes personal again. What was different in the beginning was it is not personal to you anymore. If you are experiencing life as a person, then you're experiencing life with distortions. The more impersonal it becomes, and by impersonal I don't mean without feeling, I mean clear. By impersonal I don't mean without love, because love becomes more universal, much more broad and beautiful, but at the same time can be also particular in its expression from the universal perspective. You lose nothing of value in your consciousness expanding to its natural state. But when you're in the mode of personhood, we doubt this, and there's so much fear accompanies the person, you see. You have to move out of the range of just the personal identity. How? I've shown you how to keep just observing without being so ready to identify with what you see, and not accepting the mind's interpretation that it wants to give about the things you perceive through the senses and the mind. And in a short while, naturally you come to feel a sense of, an isolated sense of beingness, like from where all things are perceived. But itself is not like just a body, it's formless. But so few really follow through and experience this in the way that it can be experienced. We stop short. It's like you do a bit of this, you want a bit of that. Mix and match. It will not work like that.
I don't want to mix it, because the person is so
The person is a limitation in consciousness. It's a limited view, unstable, incomplete, restless by nature. The best way to enjoy the sense of person is to be free of it. And then when your parents call you Jennifer or so-and-so, you understand what it means, and you don't have to fight that. Something is, you can play that role, because that's all it was meant to be, much more light, more superficial, but it became like a profound fact of who we are. And that made all the difference.
there is a fear in here that I'm not able to be strong enough if I'm not with you or have a strong Sangha around me.
That's the person again. That is just a thought you're having. And why is that thought strong? Because you believe in it. As long as you keep feeling that, I'm not going to be strong enough except when I'm with you, like this, you're feeding a very weak notion of yourself. If you follow the inquiry, follow that looking, those steps I point to, in a short few steps, you already find that you're in this place that is so pure and free So much so that people have come, and then in a question of just some minutes even, from being in a state of great, anxiety and frustration and so on, that bubble bursts and they are again in their natural state. They're even laughing even. Because they say, oh, my mind caught me for a moment and I somehow, thank you for helping me to see from my true place again. It is so seductive in some sense, you may say the mind, but also so is the self. Because as soon as you begin to awaken to the naturalness of being, you simply want more. When you fall in love with someone, you don't say, well, this is enough love, thank you very much, I don't want more. You want more, you want a complete sense of completeness. And it's the same thing as you discovering more of your true nature. You simply want to be more, all the way, you want to go all the way. But then your mind come again and say, well, you cannot live like that completely because I have things to do, I've got to pay my rent, I've got to do this and so on. And you start to discuss these things with your mind and you get pulled right again into this kind of logical way of living and strategic and manipulative ways. And there's very little trust for life.
Yeah, it's exactly this. I'm not having it anymore, and I felt like I really needed to stand up and say it also, that it's enough of that.
This one who doesn't want it, okay? Introduce me to this one. This one, you say, I don't want it anymore. I really don't want it. And almost anywhere you go in the world, someone will accept this statement. She says she doesn't want it. Boom. But I'm saying to you, introduce this one. Who exactly is it who is saying, I've had enough, I don't want it? Can you see? And find this one. Just, you can close your eyes or you can keep your eyes open and say, who is speaking these words? I don't want it. I don't want my mind to be like this. Can you identify the one who is saying that?
It is still some thoughts coming out with
Is it
a
your
mixture
truest
of
truth?
being. No. Because it is, I see it when it is coming as well.
It is persisting like that because you rarely challenge it. It's so comfortable to speak like that because that's how you spoke yesterday and the day before yesterday and the day before the day was yesterday. It's so easy just to say, yeah, I can't stand it, I just had too much, and blah, 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 blah. And this voice fades in the wind after a little while. And if I come to talk to you about it, you'll be saying, oh, no, I'm sorry, no, I have a new thought now. We say things as though they are so meaningful, that they are so true, that they are so dependable. And like this, they're gone. Who is speaking these words? Who is having this trouble? Is it the deepest truth in you that is speaking like this? No, it is not. Who is speaking? Your self-image is speaking. The idea you have of who you are or who you should be, that is speaking. And you are accepting this voice as you. And this is what continues to create these pains in your life, in fact. Because you never question. You identify so quickly. Because it is the universal currency to think like that. I'm really having a hard time, I don't know what I'm going to do, like this, and everybody listen, oh my God. And then next minute you're laughing and doing some other contrary thing. I don't believe what people say. I just don't accept it. We say many things, it's just things we invent. We make up stories, we tell lies, we are always projecting things. It's not true. We treat the words we speak like they are so cheap. They are not true. Just momentary feelings that you give a space to make them seem as though they are something. If you look and you see, I ask you, is it your deepest truth that is saying this thing? You say, no. Be in this deeper place and tell me what it is saying. You believe too much in your emotions and thoughts, We believe so much in them, even though they are momentary. We quickly believe them. Your feelings, feelings, it's just, there's nothing. Everybody's speaking about their feelings, even feelings that have long passed, and we still talk about them. We talk about things that happened 2 weeks ago as though it happened just now. It's nothing at all. And because we do that, we create a sort of field of total fickleness, like it's so weak. You're so easily destabilized, so easily put off. You see? You're much, much stronger than that. And I have to say, I want to see this strength also. Because I know it is there. I know you. I know your beauty and also your perfection. But you seem to doubt yourself more than anyone else. Or if you believe in yourself, you simply believe in your ego, not the true self. And why it continues? Because you keep getting away with it. You keep getting away with it. Everybody is trying to sell their own brand of their own version of themselves. This is how I am, this is who I am. Come and check me out. And you will not run short of people to talk to. You will not, because they don't particularly want to hear what you have to say. Just waiting for you to finish so you can listen to what they have to say. Just now, I want you to do something here, which is simply just to, right where you are, you're aware of your body sitting here. It doesn't need any further attention than this. You're aware of your senses, they're open. Sensations come and go. You don't have to manage them, that is fine, leave all that here. If you don't engage with any particular kind of thought, even if they come and they're floating by, don't hang on to them. Just like the clouds that's passing in the sky, nothing is holding them. They're simply free to move by themselves. In the same way, any sensation, any thought come, simply let it play. Don't be involved in it. You stay only as that neutral, intelligent space in which all things are perceived. And don't be waiting for something to happen. So don't touch any concept of next. Simply, you're here. not waiting, not imagining anything. So although there's perception through the senses, you are not doing anything at all. The lungs are breathing, you are not breathing. Heart is beating, you are not beating your heart. You are not even being quiet. Quiet is here by itself. There's a natural self-awareness. Whereby you know instinctively that you exist. The sense of existence is here. And that there is perceiving, the functioning of perception is happening totally naturally. You are not doing anything at all. Everything is happening by itself. You can hear the birds singing, but they're not singing especially for you. The senses catch the impressions of the sense objects. Totally naturally. If a thought appears, you did not think it. It simply happened. Don't say, this is my thought. Nobody owns it. Who are you here? Again, you're aware of the body. The body is not aware of you. There's awareness of the senses, the sensations. Heart is beating, but no one is beating it. Lung is breathing, but nobody is breathing it. There's no need to try to be, because you already are. But don't attach any stories to this natural sense of being. Simply, you exist. As what do you exist? Just look, don't think. What is it that is really here that makes perception possible? That perceiving. What are you doing? Are you doing? Is there not just a sense of being? Pay attention to this sense of being. Is it an action? Is it a reaction? Is it an interaction? You are this pure consciousness. It is because of consciousness that these things can be perceived. But you who are perceiving them, can you be perceived? Now I am speaking to you as consciousness, speaking to consciousness about consciousness. It's nothing personal. Now you may turn towards anything that you perceived as a problem and see if it is arising as a problem now. It cannot. What has changed? You're letting go of all association, all intention, self-image, brings you to yourself. Where is your beginning? Look, you're in the perfect position now to feel these questions deep inside your being. Where is your beginning? Where is your end? you're not asleep. If the sensation of sleep arises, it is also only another sensation perceived in the space of consciousness. It is not a reading of what is. It is only another movement. Every thought, every sensation is only a movement, momentary, appearing in the conscious field. You are, each one of you, beginning to go more deeply into your origin of being. There is no distance except the distance that's created through thought. You are sitting inside your natural state. But there are tendencies that will arise to distract your attention and to bring it back only in the field of phenomenon. You are to be aware of this. You are to be aware of this, and don't combine yourself with display. Stay as that neutral awareness. Now, in a few moments, you may open your eyes and you will see that perhaps this exercise is over or something, as all things that take place in time become. But what you are perceiving is not bound by time. Your being is timeless. There's neither day nor night there. There's neither wrong nor right. It is beyond gender or religion. It is not a belief system. It is pure being. You will know inside your heart whether this is why you're here. And not just why you're here only on the banks of the Ganga in Varanasi, but why you're here in life itself. To use all your power to discover and be your true self. It will become increasingly unbearable to remain in states that are not true to who you are. But you must fight to win yourself back. Some beings, we have drifted so far, but however far you have drifted, you're still only this. Wake up. Don't be so comfortable or loyal to the states of ego mind. It is only due to habits and conditioning. You are much more than conditioning, much more than habit. But you must find this out consciously. Satsang offers that opportunity to go more deeply into your true nature. Simply by turning your attention towards the stillness within your being, you'll begin to have a sense, an energetic glimpse of that infinite being that is your true self. So don't apologize for your existence. Because the true heart is the light of this world. But you, each one, must hatch open the caterpillar must become butterfly. It cannot be caterpillar all your life. Caterpillar means ego. The natural evolution of a person is again towards infinite being. Okay. Okay, next one we have you come there first. You come? Yeah, thank you.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
I'd like to ask you to look with me together.
Okay, go.
Yes. I am not a person. I can clearly I can see.
What you should do in the state that you are now, you should stay in this state.
Yes.
Don't raise any more question. Stay in this state where you can see that the person mode is only the kind of constructed self, and it is visible to you. Don't enter into it or try to do anything to that. Stay only independent as the weakness of it. But keep your power inside the witnessing itself. Because the more you keep your attention on the object of perception, you will likely develop interest towards what you're seeing, and it becomes another distraction. You must keep your energy and your attention only in the space of being. that intelligent space, that conscious space, in which innumerable impressions come and go, but gradually you come to see that they're all just transient, temporary, momentary effects in consciousness, and so you will stay only as the consciousness itself rather than the things that are appearing in it. This important change must happen. As you begin to see this, a great stillness will come into your being, a great joy. It does not take long, because by that time you are isolated from all the impressions that are passing. If you keep paying attention to the things that are passing, you will sooner or later get caught up in them. And that is called distraction. All the beings in the world are reporting distractions. They're all talking, yes, I did this and that, and all things, and this is why no power is with you. Because you don't pay attention to the singularly most important component of all these things, and that is your own self, who is the conscious witness of all these impressions that come and go. The impressions are momentary. The witness is stable. Be the stable one. Gradually you'll come to see that even the idea to be told, be the stable one, is already a fact. You are that stable one. But in the beginning, to correct the habit of going out towards the impressions, to keep telling the story of phenomenality, which is only an interpretation of the mind, these tendencies will become gradually redundant for you. And what will be left internally is simply the space of being. In this space of being, that is your natural abode, that's your natural state. What happens like this is that in your natural state, whatever is meant to happen, happens spontaneously and is seen immediately, and your powers to discern whether something is true or not are very acute. It is not the same with the person. The person is always trying to decide things, to make up things, to compare. The beingness does not have anything to solve, in fact. It is already a perfect state. But things will keep coming up. Impressions from the past will keep coming up to be looked at and to be discarded if they are needed to be discarded, or to pay closer attention if they have some valuable contribution to make towards your insight. All these things will happen spontaneously. And it's a joy to tell you that, because if it had to be done like you must learn this, it would be very difficult for you. But because it gets revealed spontaneously in the being, you can relax. The important thing is to keep looking from the place of the conscious seer, who is not emotionally or psychologically invested in the traffic of thoughts or sensations that keep coming. It is not afraid of them, but it simply sees that it's a lesser choice to be entangled in the thought stream, which has little to contribute to your natural state, and to keep that energy simply in the power of witnessing. The witnessing without emotion takes no energy. Witnessing with identity takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy to be a person. It takes no energy to be yourself. So you just stay like that, because your energy is not speaking that we should be engaged to stir it up. Just stay in that state, and then when dynamically the urge comes to work it out, then we will speak about it. Very good. Mm-hmm. You over there? How are we doing on time? What time is it? 8:30. When did we come? Okay, we're good. Just good.
Namaste Sadhguru. I wrote something down in order to be clear,
Yes.
not to go around with the momentary impressions. I wrote it in a letter to you.
This one here? Is this? I saw a letter here. This one? Okay, I saw it when I came in. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
I had no idea that it's here. I
Achha,
brought
okay.
my
Okay. You want me to read it or you want to start from here?
I would love if you read it, if you feel.
Should I read it? Okay. Namaste, Satguru. I want to thank you for guiding me through for all this time of playing as me and you. I want to thank you for your love and patience, for all the names and for all the
Forms.
the form. The what?
Names and forms.
The names. No, it doesn't say that. For all the names and
Shapes.
hopes through which we've seen and you're going to have to read this. For all the names and hopes through which the seen and unseen hands you molded my understanding of who I am. Thank you for the thirst and the restlessness to know through my own experience that you planted deep down inside me. For that need to go straight to your I and not to settle for less satisfactions.
For that need to go straight to number one.
Okay, yeah, okay. Number one, okay. It serves me well as a sword in the forest of concepts, and I didn't allow to any intermediary to establish itself shop for too long as an illusion dealer on this mind. This holy introspection.
Unsatisfaction.
Your writing is so beautiful, but I'm getting this holy unsatisfaction introduced me to Papaji, then to Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, and finally to you as a living embodiment of the truth. But now, even one is too many. Even one is too many. Please allow this me and you to merge in the Mu, through whom you announce yourself on this form for me to see and to mirror the splendor that I can't still fully accept as myself. Please super expose this movie of ego
Odyssey.
And ego
Audacity.
okay, to the light of your grace, so no more past impressions
Yeah.
form recombine onto this never-ending story of me and mine. no more hatched egos and unburnt seeds transmigrating from body to body on this dream of birth and death. Allow to this I consciousness that in spite of more than conceptual understanding, still feels trapped inside this body-mind unit, to abide in the presence of your grace till this perceptive distortion of reality as two is totally cured. Now, please sever this bundle of tendencies that all the wool of ignorance pulled over the past, this part of you, in this apparent 3D dream projection. Please, until this heart knot and dispel this mesmerized eyes and bless them with your undivided seeing. I surrender to your grace and to the blooming of this flower on the most useful way you find what?
Fit. You find fit too.
To find?
Most useful way you find fit too.
Adi. Okay. Okay, so say something now.
I'm just feeling like asking you to move inside. I already felt the wind blowing inside. And just move inside this pot.
Yes. Yes.
This clay pot. And
if there is at all any genuineness inside, then for sure grace will move in that space. If there's any sincere or genuine urge within your heart to be open to or to complete your sadhana, complete your urge for freedom, grace will move in that space and will continue. Your place will only be to keep saying, yes, I'm here, fill me or replace me with you. And that movement will continue to neutralize the seeds of ignorance and will somehow replenish those energies which are subdued by the ego, and everything will come right. The urge alone must be there. And even that is the outcome of grace also. The minute you start to love, as you love, your love is getting greater and greater, deeper and deeper, wider and wider, more and more powerful. It is a divine romance in some way, because you begin to experience internally the expansiveness of consciousness, the joy to be, the clarity of mind, and the openness, the effortlessness of love. All of this, you recognize you don't need someone to teach you what they are. You intuitively and instinctively know them because they are the seeds, they are the DNA of your own self. So you know them, you see? And the more you're feeling more into this inner discovery, the more you have less tolerance for the ego identity, you have more wish to be completely consumed by the true self and to burn the false self. It's all one movement and it's happening beautifully. I don't see any reason why not, unless there continue in you the desire to retain certain aspects of your personality, imagining that they are of greater value than your pure self. If you do that, then the bridge you are meant to go across will keep extending. So you're always on the bridge. You are meant to go across the bridge. burn the bridge, but instead we are extending the bridge so that the journey to cross over is taking longer and longer. You see? And this crossing over is not from here to there, it's from here to here. It's a crossing inwardly, you may say, from the mind into the heart of being. It must already be taking place. It's not going to freshly start now. It is already. And now it may take a boost.
I already know that you answered my letter. The moment I wrote it, it was answered. Is no doubt. It was munching in my mind just to come and say it and just to be free of it. But I already received the answer. It's coming
Very
forward.
good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Guruji, I'm here only for true. All what I want to say now is disappear. And I'm nervous, but while I meet you, before I meet you, I do everything, a lot of practice, but I can't do anything. I'm just was in stuckness. But with you, I feel that something changing in me all the time, and I can live everything what you say to me. And already I dropped a lot. It's,
What it was brought to my attention, no? That certain behavior from you was not really supporting satsang, because you are somehow moving around from people to people, interested in different women in the satsang, and I felt this is not what we are here for, you know. And I know different people have these tendencies, but I cannot encourage them, because then it becomes a distraction for those people, a distraction for you, and I feel that it's a waste of my time also. So this is why it came to my attention, because people bring, so, you know, it's happening like that. And I've seen already it is so easy to be distracted. So many things are playing to get your attention, and if you're someone who are sort of like indulging in this type of, you know, interaction with people, then it is in a sense working against what we are doing, because in satsang, each one should feel safe and open to come and to say, I'm here for this, and to be fully on board, because I know how difficult it is. Not because the self is difficult, the self is sublimely beautiful and present and whole and complete, and like that. But somehow I'm finding that what is not good is this tendency to somehow be engaging with people, which it becomes a distraction for them. And I'm here giving time and energy like that, and then suddenly I'm finding that someone is spinning off around the corner with someone else. Another. I said, no, we don't work like that. You see, there's an integrity in satsang. And of course, there are people who form relationships in satsang. And if I feel that they are genuine, then I said, it's okay, this is fine. Because I see it's not in the way of your satsang. But if I find that it's a distraction and it's another person, another girl, and another one, I said, no, please go somewhere else and do this. I don't have time for that. I don't want to do.
This is because of ignorance, my ignorance. It was, and I know why it goes in this way. Because when you ask in Lucknow why you not pick up my teaching, I have answer. I answer this because I inquire. Because your energy and your love, it's so tasty, it's so sweet, and the person, because of ignorance, not understand how to use this energy. And I found myself in this way, because you give a lot of energy and love to us, but yet I inquire and I find that also if I did mistake like this, also your energy fulfilled my heart, and all desires stay like less power.
You know, in a sense, it's easy to say things like that. I find that it's easy for many people. They say things, good things. I receive many letters also from people. If you read it, you say, this must be written by the Buddha. And I say, oh my God, this is written by the Buddha, or this was written by, one of these great beings. But then when I see people up close and I observe their behavior, I say, oh, it's not the Buddha, it's the Buddhi. It's not the same at all. It is not tallying up. It is not that we know the right thing to say. But then your actions must also, the fragrance and the flower, they must be one. It cannot be that you simply say what sounds like the right thing, but then the behavior is betraying your words like that. So for me, it's very irritable, because there are so many people also who are wanting. It seems, I don't know, but it seems that there are many people who are wanting to come into satsang and to really, to find this most rare person, no? Who really is here for this. And in the meantime, you still continue to speak with everyone. And I'm not saying that people should be perfect. The person is most imperfect. But at the same time, they must turn their eyes towards finding that thing which is perfect. That because of that, they are being treated differently. Because you can do the worst thing in the life, but if you're open to change, I will sit with you. But if somehow your behavior is not consistent with someone who genuinely is searching, then I really also don't want to waste the time. I get so tired of having to speak on the level of the person, and the person did this and so on. I said, we're not getting anywhere like that, actually. You're speaking like you need to go and see a psychotherapist or something. I'm not here for psychotherapy. I'm here for freedom. It is simple enough. And it's already shrouded in so much complexity and nonsense. And I want to wipe that away and to show you the place back to your heart. That's all I want to do. And if you are in your heart with it, then it becomes a joy, in fact, to share. You see? It's already happened a few times. I've had to send people away. Please go away. Because you're working against what is happening here. You're distracting beings who are coming here in search. And I don't want to be going behind you cleaning up. Corpse. You go somewhere else. And it has been good for them. Because they see, it has to mean something that you come here. All my life I'm with you. And then after some time, the body becomes tired. It's not just that you say these things, but you must also be them.
I'm with you only because of one thing. And you show me this taste, and I I can't lose this chance. And it's very, very difficult to say this in English because I translate first in English from Russian to English in my mind. But I know that this is because of it's before these words.
Well, your English is good enough because you're talking with English-speaking girls. So your English is good enough. You reflect on the things we speak about, and thank you. Good. You a video friend. Thank you.
Namaste, Mooji.
Namaste.
We're here to share a great grateful to be here, to be brought here by you. First in Rishikesh and in a magic situation now here. I felt you arriving and I realized that you were here in a meeting with Sati Devi. And I realized that for many years in my life I made a lot of efforts and trying to do things, to solve things. And it was a really hard time. And from some years to that moment, I think that things start to be easier. But many times I fight against that easier way. There is something in my mind saying, cannot be easier. You have to do that thing. You have to solve things. And the day before yesterday, Tuesday, was like another moment of how easy the life can be in a moment of grace. And it was fun because when I started, I met the people in the pizza. And when I start to come to the concert place, for a moment I started to run because a place to be near of you. And in the next second, the grace came in. Why are you running? And I think sometimes why I let that effort made come again, and I think sometimes I cannot deal with that fight inside. But I felt that the easier mode don't fight, and then when I have that mode to solve things and to make the efforts, the grace just stops.
Yes, I mean, I would say that I discourage people from making any premature conclusions about how they should be. It is best to be neutral in your being, so that there will come moods of consciousness which are very dynamic, and that time something needs to be dynamic. Another mood can come when you're very still. Another time come when there needs to be some effort. Another time come when there needs to be just to meditate or to pray. Another time come when you're totally detached from everything and so on. And it's important to know how to read the language of the vital force and these expressions of consciousness. Because some people, they try to say, okay, I never do this, like I never touch money, or I said, that's such a limitation. Why you speak like that? Nothing tell you that you have to be like that. Only don't be so attached to them. And so your life can be natural in this vast sea for expression, but there's no need to bind yourself to any particular mode of being. And then you are moving in your universality in a very natural way. Rather than sometimes people say, okay, I'm not going to speak for 3 years. Oh, why? And then I find that some people are doing that. I'm not speaking for 5 years. And they're walking around with little blackboard writing things. I said, that's speaking. They carry on the blackboard and that is speaking, excuse me. You see? If you mean, I am a silent Baba. That is not silent if you are saying, yeah, don't speak, but you're writing and you're pursuing. You got it? I said, that is very much it's even noisier, actually, than just speaking the things. So some people, we feel we do it with the best of intention, but this intention is creating tension. Just relax and be yourself. Get the point, which is to recognize your true place. And mostly we're not coming from our true place. We're coming from what I call the constructed sense of self. We are coming from the egoic identity. And that's why we are not happy. We experience moments of happiness and we live on the promise of greater happiness. But the one who is free is continuously happy, actually. I'm not saying they're walking around smiling, and it's a bit strange, but just internally they are very content and very peaceful. And it's not that they don't care about anything, but they don't mind how things go and so on. You cannot actually define or describe an awakened being. They are totally unpredictable. Mostly, not in every case. But if you are so predictable, you are pretty much dead. You have to even surprise yourself also. And such is the case because when you're living from that place of intuitiveness, you don't know what you're going to say. You don't know what you're going to say. When you're meeting people, you don't practice or rehearse before, you just go. Because it's not just the kind of historical person that is speaking. It's more from presence. It's fresh, So I feel it is just when there's effort, then effort will come. When there's not effort, no effort will come. And move in this way, and don't worry about it.
The effort, when it comes from the presence, more natural, more fresh.
When the effort comes from presence, it doesn't feel like effort. In the same way that what you enjoy doing, you don't call work. Isn't it? So when something is, you enjoy it, it doesn't feel like effort. It's like your joy, you enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you again. Thank you for everyone that made the questions for you and I could hear. And thank you for everyone.
Yes, thank you.
It has been doing a very special moment. That's a moment here in India with you.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll take just one more and then we close for the day. I feel like this. Thank you. Anybody? Oh, we still have some.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Guruji, when I reach to the state of stillness, I find a problem. My rhythm of breathing disturbs it.
Rhythm of breathing.
When I inhale, it disturbs the stillness.
You see, okay, you listen to this now, because he said, when I reach a state of stillness, the rhythm of breathing is somehow creating some disturbance. You see? Are you doing some pranayama or something like this? When you say like that, what you...
Yes, I do pranayama.
Yes. So this is something that when I speak about stillness, I'm not speaking particularly about any kind of technique. This is why we said earlier when I introduced this exercise, just leave everything for a moment. No? And don't call it anything. Just leave everything for a moment. Then you see the body is functioning even without your attachment to it. It is functioning by itself, as it does in sleep. And you know, you are not breathing your lungs. You're not making them breathe, because when you are asleep, if you were doing that, then you forget to do it. You die in your sleep. The heart, you're not doing anything. You're not beating your heart, because how many times your mind is on your heart? No, not at all. You don't think about it. Heart is beating by itself. There are many functions that are just happening by themselves. They don't require a sort of like a personal assistance or something like that. In the same way, when you come to peace, you know, well, it should be the most natural thing for you, because there's nothing associated with peace to maintain peace. Peace is there already. Peace is synonymous with what you are. You see? But if you say, okay, I come to peace, but you're using like a technique to come to peace, but peace needs no technique. If you use technique to come to peace, then you're going to have to some point drop the technique, because the technique and the peace doesn't go together. This is what happens sometimes with some yogic exercises. You start to feel like it is produced by the yogic exercise, so that when you stop, then your state also stops. If you come to peace by pranayam, watching the breathing and so on, then you cannot be pranayam every day, all day. So when you stop, also your peace will go. But I'm showing you the peace that doesn't go. Also, it never came. It is already here, somehow eclipsed, because of this concept we have about, making a life and doing this. It takes on so much energy, fascination to do that. Now, that's not to say that we should be just sitting around doing nothing, because what I'm saying is that whatever your work you're doing, it is consciousness doing it. The mind comes in sometimes and distorts further, because sometimes mind says, yeah, I want this for that, and so on. So the personal mind is also in there with the consciousness, and it creates a distortion. It creates a lot more energy, a lot more fuss when none is needed to be there. But with the state of peace, it came into my heart also like that from 1987. After a prayer and so on, which someone made for me, and I asked, a peace came in my heart. It has never gone away. It's 1987, it has never gone away. All kind of states came and went. Even my son died, my sister died, my mother died, all these things happened, but my peace has not been destroyed. It's not because I went and I sat down and tried to get back to peace. Not at all. Because that would make it seem as though I have to do something to be peaceful. I came to the realization and saw that peace is here. And so great is the peace that there's room for even some agitation to play in the peace. But it came and went, but the peace remained undisturbed. So if it is a peace that is done through some kind of yogic exercises and so on, then you are thinking too much of the exercise. Then the exercise is disturbing the peace. Then drop the exercise.
It means I should stop doing pranayama.
Huh?
I should stop doing pranayama.
Yes. I mean, these are exercises only useful up to a point. In the natural state, you don't have to be doing pranayama. It's useful up to a point. It's only to help you to discover what is already natural. Pranayama is not natural.
Okay.
You see, I mean, your natural state is is to discover that when you don't engage with identity and with the intent and all the traffic of thoughts and sensation produced in the mind, if you merely observe them, for a while, you come to see that they're just transient, they just come and go. So why would you want to give so much energy to what is by nature just very changeful? Then I say, bring your attention just to stay as the space, the intelligent realm in which these impressions come and go. But it itself is not coming and going. And notice this. And the more you give a little energy to see if you can confirm this, gradually you come to see, whoa, but this is amazing. It's so simple. It is so simple. Bringing your attention to pay attention to what is here by itself becomes a joy, not work. And that's just to counteract the opposite tendency, which is to keep going with the restless states and with the person identity. And that has to be transformed, you see. The peace is natural for you. The joy also is natural. People practicing to be happy are the most miserable people, because happiness is synonymous with yourself. We have been taught you have to do this to be happy, you need someone to be happy, you need all these things. And we learned them and we believed them and we believed them into existence. They became our experience. They became like facts, but it is not true. Your very being is joy, silence, peace. But our conditioned identity picked up a lot of noise and how to be and lots of distorted misconceptions. And then we are living in the notion of these misconceptions, and it makes us unhappy. Mm-hmm.
I'll try.
You can do now. You are here, just leave, don't engage with anything from any zone of time, like past, present, future, or not like that. And so just don't go in any of those directions. And any sense of who you think you are, shaped in the mind or conditioning, just leave that aside for a moment. And then don't be waiting for, okay, now what? So be aware of that tendency and don't get into that. And just stay with this natural state of being, which is not a doing state, it's more just a sense of being. And just keep your attention on what's happening here. Just pay attention to that, and gradually you start to something comes more clear for you. But I feel so good just to be here like that.
Okay.
Yes, please try that. And these are a simple exercise you can do today, get results today. I'll tell you, look, I'm leaving here tomorrow. I'd love you to be able to come and say, hey, Mooji, it works. Yes. It's not that it's going to take you, another 5 weeks of practice. No, this is a tree that bears immediate fruit, if you put and see. Because if you have to practice to be natural, it means that to be natural is not natural. You have to discover what it is that we have learned. No? We have learned. Because I say this thing, I said, I am, before the idea that I could forget myself or that I needed to remember myself was believed. I am, before the idea that I could forget myself or that I needed to remember myself was learned and accepted by me. Meaning that we learned to believe that we could not be ourselves. It's just another way of looking. Your natural state is to be empty, actually. But for a person in the life that we are brought up and cultured to believe, everybody wants to have a lot of techniques in their minds because it seems as though the world, respects that. You already have to have a dream and a projection on what you're going to do in the next 5 years, and all these things you must carry around in your head. And nobody ever says to you, listen, you can be empty. Oh, we go to meditation classes more and more to taste a bit of emptiness, but it's still not given the kind of respect and the cherishing that it could be. We feel like it's just a little something we do to help along. You don't see that brings you to yourself. And why is it that an empty mind is good? Well, empty mind is not like it's empty, you got nothing in your mind. You got nothing in the mind, and you don't need to. Because if you are life, then life takes care of life. And when something needs to be known, it somehow appears in your mind that is to be known. I can speak from experience about it. So now, if someone tries to get me to plan and to prepare, I say, why would I want to do that? It's the most terrible thing to do. Someone showing you how to live. No. You are life. Only needs to understand your true place, and gradually your life takes on a maturity, of course, because you cannot just do what you want to do. When we have a lot of ego, it doesn't lead to good things. But as you discover what is true, automatically your life comes into a harmony. You will not want to hurt others or to, it's a natural harmony. Like all good things manifest spontaneously in the awakened mind. It's the most great joy to discover.
Blessed to meet you.
Thank you. Same. Same. It's enough now, or it's enough? What time is it? It doesn't matter for me too much. I have to say I'm not in the greatest condition, but if there is something more to share, you want to come and speak? You up there quickly? Yeah. 12:44. You guys are okay? Very okay, or just kind of?
Guruji, once in Sahaja, you told me to pray like this. God, I'm in a deep shit. Please help me to get out of here. In the moment, I was not able to hear you. Now, I'm praying. I don't even know where I am. What is this shit? But please, help me to get out of here. So either you tell me how to be, because I'm so confused, or you kill me now, because I can't live like this. Guruji, I thought I was doing well. Of course, this is the mind. I thought everything was just fine, but there's a little, very subtle thing that I couldn't see, that maybe I didn't want to accept or admit.
Yes. One of the great things, because some of you here live in Portugal, in a place called Montesaja. And a number of beings are living there also. And this place came about to serve all the beings who are in search of this truth and wanted to give up, to approach and to study and to live and to use the time to wake up. That's all it is, you know. We have a Karma Yoga program there and stuff, but it's not about Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is because I don't want people just to come, sit on the trees all day on some kind of trip, but more that you facilitate, you practice, you participate in the program there. But the number one thing is that you're there for freedom. And if you're not there for freedom, even if you're a really good worker, we say it's best you move on a little bit. So we keep this very high standard there, so that the beings who are there, they really never go to sleep. Because I say to people, you can be with me all your life, with one condition: you have to be fresh. You understand? Because I don't want no stale people around me. It's just too tiring. I don't collect people. But when we come together, I feel that this is the most important discussion in the human kingdom. It provides the greatest outcome for human beings. We don't need more politics and more wars and more, even food we don't need more of. What is needed is to see human beings whose lives are the evidence of truth. To see people who are themselves the proof that God exists. To meet human beings whose presence radiates peace and joy, so that people can say, it looks like it's true. Enough religious books, enough all these things. More is not needed. What is needed is to really swallow the food in your mouth, digest and assimilate it. That is all. It's not more. Beware of the tendency of the mind to want more. When you're eating breakfast, you're wondering what's for lunch. When you're eating lunch, what's for dinner? This is the mind itself. So when I speak about Montesaja, it is like this, that all the beings there, we are so used to being with each other, and it's very difficult to hide, because somebody will catch you and say, what's happening? Why are you hiding? But it is so helpful, and we speak to each other with love and with respect, but sometimes challenge things that we see that seem not true. It is a very powerful climate. Not everyone feels completely comfortable at first, but you grow to love it because it brings the best out of you. You see? And because of that, they say when we are there, I come to India once each year, and in places like Rishikesh, we have 2,000 people coming to be in the space. We cannot give this one-to-one attention like that. And I say the most important thing is not that you can come and touch me and we can say, oh, it's Mooji. No, but it is that you follow the pointing inside, and really that we have a connection that happens in the heart. That is the more strong. That is the most strong thing. Each year for the last 6 years, I have one man who traveled from Japan for 1 day. He comes for satsang. All the way from Japan, because he works in the government and he only has 3 days off. 2 of them he uses to travel to come and see me in India. He spends 1 day in India. But that day is a full day. That day is a complete day where he's there with all his heart. And I serve him like he's the Lord himself, because I value that type of dedication from a human being. I have great love for it, great respect for it. There are beings who I only see them once a year for a few hours. But when I see them, I am just stunned, because I say to them, it is not your visibility that I notice, it is your invisibility. It is your invisibility as a person and your visibility as the self that comes. And that is what's attractive about them. Sometimes we are together too often and we take the company for granted. So these things I speak. When you have been to Monte Saja, you know I have such great love for you, and to take you under my wings and to guide. But also you let some tendencies happen, and then I feel you become distracted, and then I say, what is this? Why is this like that? And don't give in to these tendencies so like this. Look at them, bring them into your inquiry. And if there's still some mistakes happen, it's okay, we all make mistakes. But don't be dedicated to them. And when something is genuine, then I support what is genuine. I'm not against relationships. Relationships are fine. If there was no relationships, none of us would be here. I went one time in America. I went to one place, and they were telling me all these people come there, and they had a religious group. It was very, very, very well established for a while, in the 60s or something like that. And but they had one thing: no sex. So I said, but so where are they now? They finished. No sex, no people, no new devotees. It's going to happen now. There's nothing wrong with that. But you make a law about it. I said, what's happened? How long it will continue? So it is not about that. It is a fact that here I feel that we have the greatest chance to wake up. In some other parts, maybe you'll be spending a lot of time, and your ego is not dead. We have so many people who have come. I've been on the path for 30 years, 35 years I'm on the spiritual path. But I lack the experience. I have so much knowledge, but I don't have the spirit, I don't have the presence. Please help me, easy. You come straight into presence. And then I say, then honor the presence, be with this, no? And that is all. Put your full attention here. Because from how you came, and it was so amazing how we met, in fact. So powerful. People all over the world, they watch video with me and her. They want to know, who is this woman? They felt so uplifted to see her move from such a place to such a beautiful place. Then why stop? Continue, finish it off.
I don't want to stop, Guruji. I would rather die. I would kill all my desires.
You don't have to kill them. You don't have to kill them. Something is okay with desires. Some desires are fine. Some not. But you must transcend their influence, which you can do. And you get so much joy, actually. Because to be held a prisoner by desire is not a fun thing. At first we think, yeah, it's so great, but it causes you a lot of pain. So you will overcome. If your heart is in the right place like that, you will overcome it. You see? I don't want to make things difficult for people, but sometimes I see that you put your value in the wrong place. Put the value in the right place. And everything will just be so beautiful for you. You would never regret it. Only when you come out of certain states, you realize, wow, I was being so limited in the previous state. So come out of them. It's not that difficult. And I'm always on your side. Meaning, whatever it is that brings the greatest joy and freedom for you, this is, I support that. Actually, in the past, I've been so lenient, over lenient, you see, and a lot of things happen that not so nice, you know. And I feel that when you have to point things out, then it's the best help, because then you can't hide it and you get to see it. And we're not throwing stones at you just to say, you know, but you have so much power in you. Why you throw it like this? Because I know who you are, I can look at you in the eyes. And there's nothing there but love. There's nothing there. There's no judgment, nothing there. Because I've looked beyond the mask of a person, and I know the one who is here. And I know the game he plays. So, I'm not at all disturbed. Very good. I want to thank you for coming today, because like we have been here for some time. It was not my intention to have any satsang in Varanasi. We came here because after this season, you know, it felt like we'll come to Varanasi. I came last time was about 12 years ago. And I have some friends who visit now, who are friends from these days in Varanasi. And I felt it would be a good place to come with some of the team. We could relax a little bit. But while I was here, then somehow I found people were coming and asking, are you having any satsang? I said, no, I'm not having any satsang. But it got into my mind a bit. I said, we should at least have one satsang here. It's one of the most holy places in the world, most ancient city in the world. Thousands of years, human beings have been coming to this place, worshipping, studying, you know, in search of truth also. I say for thousands of years, human beings have been coming together in gatherings like this to look into this most important question. Who are we? Where we come from? What are we doing here? What is our purpose? You see? And many, many, many millions and millions of beings over so many centuries have been somehow completely merged with this question to find what is this life for, because it seems to create so much pain also and so much promise but unfulfilled. Is there something greater than this? And many of them found. And they dropped their bodies here. Their ashes are in this river now, many of them. They are no longer here. But we are here. This is our turn. We are coming here now. The same banks of the same river that's been flowing for thousands of years. It's our turn to have a go at this question now. Will we solve it? Will we solve it? Because the outcome of it, human being discovered their divine nature. What is greater than that? I know nothing in my experience greater than that. You see? So my blessing is that for anyone in whose heart has arisen the urge to find the truth, then may you come quickly to the full realization of the timeless self in your heart and be timelessly happy. May you grow in wisdom and loving kindness and perfect understanding. And may all who meet you on the way of life be touched, inspired by meeting you, by your peace and joy and your silence, your beauty and grace, your love, so that they in turn will begin looking within themselves to find the light that they see in you. and find happiness. This is a magnificent existence, but we only come to appreciate it when you're free from the grip of egohood. All other purposes, all other things that we have done on this planet are less than this. It is the play of consciousness that wanted to exhibit its power, its diversity in the realm of multiplicity of duality. But nothing is greater than a human being who awakens to their true nature. Not everybody would agree. All over the world we have different ideas. But I am for the one who will find happiness in this life, who will find joy, who will become universal, who is free of judgment and fear and violence, and who has a great love for God, for truth. I will stand with that one. So thank you for your time today and the attention you have given to these talks, and may your life continue to absorb the beautiful things and pointers that guide you home, set you free. And value your opportunity. And respect the life. Thank you.
I really want to tell you that you have moved me like all my life, and I feel so grateful for everything, like what you do inside. And even I feel I don't know anything, and I don't know what is happening, but I just give myself to you. it's just you. It's nothing in life. I'm so grateful. Thank you.
But to be honest, I don't see how anyone who has such a deep urge inside their heart cannot find the truth. I don't see how anyone who has such a deep urge inside the heart for what is true, I don't see how you can miss it. Because it cannot abandon you. So if it is not merely arising out of an emotional moment, but is really coming from a genuine place, so that each day, on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday, this urge is still alive in you. I don't see how you can miss your chance at all. There are forces that are working in this world. When I say in this world, I mean in the world here, actually. Because there's one earth, but there are millions of worlds. A world is a psychological phenomenon that happens in one's head, shaped by desire and attachment, identity, and conditioning.
I just feel to say that it has to be from, as you said, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Yes.
Sunday, and if I cannot be in your physical presence, that I just say yes, yes.
But what about if you cannot be in my physical presence?
That's what I said.
That has to be the wider thing, no? Because the physical thing, it's good. While your teacher or master is in the body, make use of that association. But also there are many beings who we would never see. There are many people who only encounter me on YouTube or something like that. We'd never see them. But they have also seized their chance just the same way, because they've listened, it is spoken to them into their heart, and it is their inner connection that is the most important. Because one day this body will not be here, nor will yours. So you have to find that inner connection, because only then will you have met your master. It cannot be merely at the outer layer, you see? And it causes a lot of trouble also, makes a lot of laziness and clinginess, which is not good. But meet me through my pointing. I point you to that, and you follow and see if it works. And if it works and becomes alive for you, if it becomes alive for you, then you have brought me into your heart the same way. There are many gods that were worshipped, or the one God has been called so many names in so many ages. But many of these names, these gods, they are redundant now. Because of what? Because nobody follow them, don't worship them. Yeah? Agni and quite a few in different parts of the world. What happened? Nobody remembers them. That worship is over. So, if they are not in your heart, they die. Meaning, who is them? Who are they? Meaning that they don't die eternally, because that's a different thing. But they die in the manifest world. What happened in someone like Jesus Christ, for instance? His presence was so powerful, his love was so amazing, that people could not forget. Generation after generation, they remembered. And through their memory, he's alive in the most living way, in the most powerful way. The inner connection is the most important thing.
Guruji, I felt like you more guiding from inside. And lately, just it is coming up with, also physically, it feels like it has to come, or I don't know. Just it's pulling me also, like to you physically. And yeah.
It is natural, I'm not putting that away, because obviously if you love someone, then you want to be with them, you want to be near to them or something. This is a natural thing, no?
Yes.
But when there are times when you cannot, it cannot be that your love weakens, it cannot be that your that the significance for them weakens because you're not physically there. This is a test of love, in fact. There are some relationships, some people have been married, and maybe the husband has to go and work in another country. 15, 20 years. He comes back once a year, weekend. They're still married. And there's still love. That's the more important thing. If there's still love. If it is not just a contract of practicalities. If there is love, then what a love that can be. But it is true that we want to be together as we are here now also. And through us being together in this physical space together, and others are watching from around the world also, they're not in this physical space, but they're in this spiritual space. And they may get more from this meeting than the people sitting here also. We don't know. So for me, it's been a very great joy, and I want to thank Swamiji for allowing us to come here and to be in this space. He's not here at the moment, I feel. And that I had this chance to sit together before leaving, and to wish you all so well. And it's been a joy to meet you, and to move in the realm of the heart's energy, rather than in the more superficial layers of social interaction. You know? So thank you, and go in peace, go with grace and love and joy. Thank you. Okay, very good. Okay, so good.